Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you. We've got BRICS in the news today. You're going to want it. Ripple, Brazil, India, and Africa, and Japan. And how about this? SBI CEO Yoshitaka Kitao. Every bank is going to use XRP by 2025. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.1 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.3%, but get a load of this. Now 26,000, slightly over for Bitcoin. Ethereum is now 1747 and change. Tether market cap 83.5 billion plus. That's a lot. And 51 cents for XRP, but we are off by 8.4% on the 24-hour. Slow down, XRP. You're supposed to be going the other way here. We'll keep an eye on it, ladies and gentlemen. And right here we see your personal alternative to banking, ladies and gentlemen. This is no joke right here. This is GlimpPay. And you download it, and then you could load money onto your app and buy physically allocated gold directly and get a MasterCard debit card that allow you to spend it. But wait, there's more. Look, DPV50, that's the code. Click the link underneath the video. Get 50% off right now of your vaulting and insurance fees for the next 12 months. I'll tell you this, you'll have the same thing happen to you that everybody else is contacting me about it. Once you start, you can't stop. It is an amazing product. Make sure you click the link, check it out. Well, here's a not so amazing product, and it's Bitcoin. Yikes, that ain't going to cut it, says Mr. I. He's got it too. Average Bitcoin transaction fees skyrocket to $19.20. Wee per transfer, as over 440,000 transactions remain unconfirmed. That is not good, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a solution for the future. My goodness. But look at this. Look, we're going to talk about a lot of news here, and we're going to connect some dots, and we're still waiting to see it all coalesce, right? But nevertheless, we're gonna go over this stuff today, and a lot of it really makes you wonder how deeply Ripple is involved in it, or RippleNet, and or the use of XRP and on-demand liquidity. We'll see. But look at all this news we're going to touch. Brazil's central bank, BCB, has unveiled a roadmap of the events ahead of the nation's CBDC rollout. Let's just take a look at the highlight here. The pilot, is now moving into advanced stages ahead of a slated rollout next year. Several high-profile companies were unveiled as digital real partners last month. And it's digital real, partners last month. These include crypto keen neo-banking unicorn Nubank. Now let me just stop right there because it's time for a little reminder here. Warren Buffett backs RippleNet's Nubank. How about that? In case you didn't know or just needed the little refresher course there. So there's an indirect tie here to the pilot and Nubank, which is a RippleNet partner. So we'll keep an eye on this to see how more or less involved it may or may not be. But this is a pilot for the CBDC of Brazil and the digital real. Then there's this connection here. Makers of India's UPI app is bringing Ripple technology to India. Oh, well, we love hearing that. Shout out to Riz and ISO 20022 for bringing that to us. But then there's this reminder. This is from back in 2021 from Wrath of Common here. Ripple partner Lulu Exchange has partnered with NCPI to allow remittances into India via UPI-powered apps. Well, this is where we're looking for that deeper connection in here, right? So there was a time when Ashish Birla was at Ripple. He's now on the board, obviously. But when he was at Ripple in the earlier days, talked about how they had a very large majority of India's business. That is something remains to be seen, but we will keep an eye on that for developments and further developments there. Now let's go to Africa. See, it's so good that we've paid attention to the case and to him and emails, but we got to pull back and look at what's really developing or not around the world in the way of the digital asset revolution. Listen, I firmly believe we are witnessing the greatest financial paradigm shift in the history of mankind. It cannot be overstated. Now, question is how deeply involved is Ripple and or the use of XRP in this whole paradigm shift? We've yet to really know the true depth of it all, but we have some incredible connections. And here may just be one more. Africa's Exim Bank says they will settle in local currency, not the USD. I want you to listen to the president of Kenya say this right here and how excited they are to use the local currencies and not the US dollar for intra-continental trade. Take a listen really quickly.
Traders from Djibouti selling to Kenya or traders from Kenya selling to Djibouti have to look for US dollars. How is US dollars part of the trade between Djibouti and Kenya? Why? And we are saying that today, Afri-Exim Bank have given us a mechanism where traders in our continent can trade in their goods and services, and the Africa Exim Bank will settle payments in local currency.
Now that's pretty powerful right there, but what I'm wondering and asking, and we need the help of the community on this one, he's talking about Afri-Exim Bank. Well, that reminds me of Euro Exim Bank with Graham Bright. And if you remember this quick little video here, I won't play it all, but this is actually, and let me see if I can get this stopped here. Shout out to Graham. We interviewed him in 2019, the same year this came out. We interviewed Graham Bright at Ripple's Swell event. And that's where this is from right here. So look, you could see, and this is from a different place, but we interviewed him that year. I want to be clear. But nevertheless, this is Euro Exim Bank talking about Ripple Regionals at Ripple Regionals and discussing how they're going to use XRP in that situation of transactions and settlement. So the question now remains, is there a connection between Afri-Exim Bank and Euro Exim Bank? I don't know the answer. So maybe collectively we can all help to solve that problem and answer that. What we do know, however, is Ripple partner MFS Africa is to facilitate outward remittances to 130 financial institutions. And maybe there's an indirect connection there as well. So plenty of us out here that we could look and kick something up. I know that we can. Now, let's switch our gears to BRICS for a minute. BRICS Bank president here calls for the creation of a global South-focused financial system. I want to bring you into this very quickly here. It is urgent we create a new architecture to channel, listen to this, the available liquidity to make financing feasible on the scale and under the conditions required by the countries of the Global South. The concept of the Global South, coined by American writer Carl Oglesby in 1939, refers to the underdeveloped countries outside of the traditional centers of power, including parts of Latin and Africa and Asia and Oceania. Furthermore, the former Bank of Brazil president said that the creating of these financial tools, preferably in local currencies, was essential for promoting long-term investments. This is not the first time that Rousseff has explained the importance of funding these initiatives with the local currencies during the keynote of the 8th annual meeting of the BRICS Bank. We will seek to fund greater share of our project in local currencies with the dual objective of strengthening the member countries' domestic markets and protecting our borrowers from the risk of currency fluctuations. Now, I want to say that this sounds a lot like the conversation that we just listened to the president from Kenya say. Getting more into intra-continental trade. This would strengthen the local currencies in those areas and regions by not having to use the US dollar. But what would you use to convert and exchange them? Therein lies the question about whether there is going to be some kind of use in the future of on-demand liquidity and or XRP. I think this is something to watch very closely. And we see that there is no guesswork in this. The Australian dollar, digital dollar, is on here. This is what we're talking about. The AUDD is now live on the XRP ledger. This is the decentralized, this is a decentralized XRP ledger, but this is basically the stable coin for Australia on the actual XRP ledger. This is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. We're thrilled to announce that AUDD has officially been deployed on the XRP ledger, an open source, energy efficient, decentralized blockchain. This looks to me to be a step or two ahead, potentially, of what we may see, hopefully, right, in Brazil, in India, and hopefully in Africa and other different countries inside of Africa. So this is really exciting stuff here. And then there's this. Remember this? This is actually back from a while ago, but this is still very relevant because he's not backing down. Yoshitaka Kitao, the SBI CEO, every bank in Japan will use XRP by 2025. How about that one? That one still stays on the board, so we're going to watch and see if it happens. Then how about this? I covered this the other day, but I want to go back on it and touch on it again because we always get excited about the 9,600 surge, $50, but we just had a technical analyst on here, Will from Crypto Insight UK. We talk with Eggrad Crypto a lot. We talk with so many others. And I can't name them all, but we're grateful for all of them, right? But, inside of this, I wanted to bring us down to a section here. Could XRP hit $12 or $50 long term? And it says, despite the cautionary note, which basically says he noted that such movement in wave one to the low end of the what he calls moon or Valhalla region represents a price range between $2.80 and $4.60. So, again, I wanted to show this because, look, I believe things can go to 4 and 5 digits eventually at some point in time. If XRP makes a dent in the universe like Naveen Gupta says, that's what I believe will happen. That's what I believe a dent in the universe looks like at my house. And I believe them, and I've always believed them. And that's why my Twitter account says Digital Perspectives Perma Bull, because I'm permanently bullish on this space. Now, with that being said, I also have a position where I am planning on taking a shallow bag. Now, would I do that at $2.80 or $4.60 or at $10 or $12 or $50? That remains to be seen because I have to take in mind that when the market does begin to move in a favorable way to the upside, I want to measure how fast it's moving. What is the news that has broke that market open? Is it regulatory clarity through a legal decision in the case against Ripple and XRP? Is it some kind of legislation and regulation proposed by FSOC? Is it something from Congress? Is it all three things? We don't know. But I know that I have some things set in my mind and some watermarks to really look at and pay close attention to. But I also want to stay liquid enough in my decision making that I do have a plan, but I also want to gauge what is happening in that moment in real time when it does, should it happen that way. So whether the market's moving quickly or not is going to depend heavily on when I may take profits at a lower or higher price point. So there it is. That's not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.